And we're back.
Woohoo!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the Auto Authorities Podcast. My name is Jay Grossman. I'm the founder and CEO of iAutoAgent.com. We are real estate agents for cars. We will help you sell your car at no cost to you and help you buy a car, and you stay in charge the entire time until you approve the deal. And then this is Mr. David Marks with Quality Auto STL, trusted services with no surprises. And you know what? We have been talking about this wonderful topic, deceptive car advertising tactics and how to avoid them. And that was part one. We've got part two. It's just because we have so much stuff to talk about, don't we?
There is. We got more to talk about than we can wrap our heads around it. As me and Jay, we'd love to hear your horror stories, so that way we can help educate other clients so the same thing doesn't happen to somebody else. So a great way to pay it forward to make sure something doesn't happen to somebody else that has happened to you is tell us. We need to hear that.
All right. You guys ready to do this? Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Have you ever felt like you were taken for a ride when buying, selling, or repairing your car? Well, not anymore. I'm Jay.
And I'm Dave.
And this is the podcast that tells you what to watch out for, whether you're buying, selling,
or repairing your car.
With 47 years of automotive experience, we are the Automotive Authorities. This podcast is sponsored by iAutoAgent. We're real estate agents for cars.
And Quality Auto STL, trusted services with no surprises.
Boom!
Booyah!
And we are back to the Auto Authorities Podcast. And we have an amazing show for you today about deceptive car dealer advertising tactics and how to avoid them. And before we get going, I want to thank our main sponsor, Podcastify.me. What is Podcastify.me, you ask? Podcastify.me makes this beautiful stuff show up every week for us, for our podcast, blasts it to 19 different channels, all kinds of amazing things. The glitz, the glamour, and all we do is just show up. Wouldn't it be nice to have a podcast to do that?
Yeah, I'm going to start my own next week.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Thank you to Podcastify.me. And if you want your own podcast, go see them. And if you are just tuning in and you're watching this thing on YouTube, there's a little red button on the top right corner called subscribe and notify, because you could be notified when our podcasts hit YouTube. And if you're on Facebook, we're coming live to you Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Central Time, live, the Auto Authorities Podcast group page. And if you want to listen to this recorded, you could listen to it on your iTunes, Pandora, Amazon. There's 19 different channels that this goes on. Please give us your comments. We're talking about deceptive dealer advertising practices. We want to know, what is your horror story? Just like Mr. David Marks said, we want to know. We want to hear from you, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we ended our last episode talking about new cars being listed online that are sold. And, you know, you're showing up and boom, they're not there. But guess what happens when you get there?
Ooh.
Let's say they do have a vehicle. Because it's possible.
You never know. A blind squirrel always finds a nut.
It is. I'm going to just use the terminology, they're going to get you. And I'm going to talk about the bad dealers, not the good dealers. Because the good dealers are not doing this. There's some really good dealers out there. And I'm not going to name any names on either one. But the bad dealerships will get you. And let's talk about how that they get you. Let's talk about add-ons. What does that mean?
Add-ons. That means they're trying to upsell. They want to sell you a list of products and services.
Well, here's the thing. You don't have a choice in this situation. It's an addendum to the sticker. And what they do is they're putting extra things onto the price. So there are some dealers that are coming right out and they're saying, "Hey, we're charging you $2,000 to $5,000, $10,000 above sticker price." Those are the dealers who are like, "This is what we're doing." Then you've got the other dealers out there that are still putting things on top of the price, but it's a little bit harder to determine what's going on.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
No.
And this sucks too, because sometimes you're walking out of there spending another $1,500 to $2,000 because you have now floor mats for your car, you have wheel locks for your car, you've got
Spare
this,
tire kit because they don't build them with spare tires. That's extra.
and they have window etching, which is like it's like a theft deterrent crap. And then all of a sudden you're walking out and it's like, wait, I don't want that stuff. They're like, sorry, we have to make extra profit somehow. And that's truly what it is, Dave. They're add-ons. And you don't have a
Yeah.
choice. And basically they're going to say, well, if you don't want the add-ons, then we're not going to sell you the vehicle. And here's the thing. The dealer has the upper hand. They really do. Because you can't get that vehicle anywhere else. And they know that. So why not try to make some extra profit? And that's exactly what they're doing. So,
Wow.
how do you avoid it?
Call Auto Agent.
That would be the easy way, using our buyer's agent program, because we would have already figured that out before you went and spent 4 to 7 hours at the dealer. Well, what you can do though is you can also call them and you can ask them questions. And if you can get anybody on the phone, which that is a very, very difficult thing. And when I'm not just saying anybody, I'm talking about a decision maker on the phone, somebody that runs the dealer, somebody that's a manager. They're not answering the phones from consumers, but they'll answer the phones from us. And we're finding out for our clients, are like, hey, what other fees are involved? And, like we talked about last time, you're going to have a documentation fee, admin fee, doc fee, whatever you want to call it. And it can be as much as $499. And then some dealers are only at $399 and some are at $350. And some of them actually haven't moved away from their normal doc fee. And
that was $199. We're talking in the state of Missouri with Missouri.
Right, it was $199. Yes, right. We were talking about the state
Illinois
of Missouri.
Do the same thing? Do you got any experience with fees in Illinois?
Yeah. They're not as much.
They're not as much. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious. It just thought popped in my head. So I thought
last time we checked, there weren't. Now, when you get on to some of the coasts, I mean, they've been adding $2,000 onto the price. I'll tell you, Florida is a perfect example. They've been adding $2,000 onto the price, pretty much anything you buy.
As like an additional fee?
It's so deceptive. So basically, they call it like a what do they call it? Like a recon fee, and we'll talk
on a new car.
So that's on a used car.
Oh, okay.
I have not had any dealings with new cars because we usually don't have to go to Florida to get a new car.
Sure.
We usually can find them local here, but I guarantee you they are doing that. And let me tell you what happens from a deceptive standpoint when you're looking at a used car online.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Jay, what do they do with what are these new car dealers doing on used cars? What kind of BS are they pulling with these?
I'm going to tell you. So we actually had a specific instance. We were doing a buyer's agent, and this is before COVID. This is before all this stuff. They've been doing this a long time. Yep. So it was a Nissan Maxima. It was an SR, white, beautiful car. Only had like 9,000 miles on it.
Damn.
And it was like 26 and some change, right? And so when we found the car for our client, we're like, oh my gosh, that's an amazing deal. And then you look in the small print, and again, the small print is something you really want to read, and that's
why they call it small print.
Well, it said that there were fees, and then it said that there's reconditioning fees. So I call up there. We were trying to figure out what was going on and talk to this guy. And I said, okay, well, first of all, Dave, They kept trying to get us in the dealership. They're like, well, come on in and we'll talk about it. Come on in. Like,
Yeah.
no, we're not going to just come on in. Oh, you guys are in Indiana. We're in St. Louis. I'm like, oh, okay. So let me ask you a question. What are the fees? Well, we've got this, and this, and it's $2,000. That's exactly what they said. $2,000.
So now we're from 26,000 to 28,000.
Exactly. So I said, on your price, it says that. Well, we had to certify it. We had to do reconditioning. And this is what I said, Dave. I said, let me ask you a question. Before you posted the car online, was it reconditioning and have the certification? Yes, sir. Okay, then you guys are fucking liars. Excuse my French. I was really pissed. And and they're like, what? He's like, well, I know it's a little complicated. Complicated? No, it isn't. Because you guys have your price so low, you guys are going to show up first in the search engines. When people are searching price, when people are searching for cars, what do they look at first?
Price.
What do they look at next?
I don't know.
Miles.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Right. And what you should look at is, where is that car at? Because if you read through the Google reviews like we do in our buyer's agent program, then you would know that that is not a dealer you want to deal with. And I was so freaking pissed, and I let that guy have it. But here's the bottom line. This is being done all around town. It's not as much in St. Louis as it is outside of St. Louis. But I'm going to share something with you that really upset me. It's called, do you know what trade assistance is?
I really don't, Jay. I'm not in the new car world anymore like I used to be, so I don't know.
So if you pay attention, so you'll even see this on manufacturer commercials. You'll see trade assistance with trade assistance. What does that mean? Well, what it means is, if you want to buy a new vehicle or a used vehicle, there's a trade assistance rebate that gives you $1,000. Well, what if you don't have a trade? You don't get the $1,000. Okay, so now we're clear on that. But what do you think is the way that they get you?
What they give you for your trade.
Exactly. Ding, ding, ding. This guy gets a prize.
Yay, what do I win?
Bobby, are you listening? So what you win is a lot of knowledge right now, because what's going to happen is you get $1,000 rebate. They take your trade in. They're going to give you $1,000 less. Ooh, really? Maybe they give you $2,000 less.
Yeah, so they make an extra grand.
Because they know you need to trade that vehicle in, and all you're fixated is that you want the $1,000, but meanwhile, you're not even looking what you're going to get for your trade. Who knows what you get? And that's where the games begin. And the trade assistance is something that, another thorn on my side. When we started this company in 2015, the I stands for integrity. Your company stands for integrity. And that's what we're all about. And that's why we're doing what we're doing here. This stuff is BS. That's exactly what it is. So let's talk about when you actually go and you see these low lease rates. This is another one that really bothers me. So
I see them advertised all the time. I've seen some, Jay, it's like, I'm better off leasing that car than me going down to Manheim and paying cash for something. Like, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah. How do you feel, Dave, when you see I'm just going to use Lexus as an example, because they really are culprits of this thing. I mean, they're not the only ones, believe me. But when you see an RX 350 for $399 a month, right? And that's a $50,000 plus car, maybe even more. So $50,000 on a finance term, it comes out to be about $1,000 a month. So you're getting for $399 a month. You're like, man, I am knocking it out of the park.
Yeah.
And then remember how we talked about in the last episode, we pause the DVR, right? We're watching it. We pause. When we pause, we look at all that small print on the bottom, and it says, with $8,000 down. What does that mean, Dave?
That means I'm paying a lot of money for the car.
Especially when every $1,000 you put down is worth $30. So $30, what is that equivalent into a payment? Well, now you're taking a $400 a month payment and you're taking $30 per thousand. That's $8,000. So that's $240. And now we're at 640 a month. But we're not done yet, Mr. David Marks.
No, wait, there's
Got
more.
Tax, title, and license. What does that add up to? You're going to walk out of there at about $800 something a month, maybe about $900 a month for a lease on that car.
That's just no different than the 5,000 over KBB. It's just another tactic to get people in the door.
It's modern day bait and switch, and the manufacturers are doing it. It's not even the dealers; it's the manufacturers that these commercials.
Those are the commercials I see. The leasing commercials that I see when I watch sports, because I watch sports.
Yep.
And that's all that's on sports.
Yep.
It's manufacturers. It's not the dealers. It's the manufacturers.
Yep. So I also saw another commercial. $1 down and you pay the payment on the window and you see this $99 payment. And this is on a used car.
Wow.
And it's like, dude, like
really?
And here's the thing. There are
how many payments you got to make on that car?
Dave, it is
1,000 payments.
It's fooling the smartest people. It's fooling the smartest people out there. And that is why we have to educate people on this shit. It's like, okay, just tell me the freaking payment's $800 or $900 a month so I can make an educated decision. Don't waste my time. Don't have me come to the dealership and then tell me afterwards, oh my gosh, look at the small
these guys
print.
are afraid the numbers. They know we get so many people in the door. We're going to close X amount of money, and it's worth wasting the time on the ones that can't close to get the ones they know they will close just based on numbers and averages.
Yeah. Let's talk about, and let's go into your arena real quick, and let's talk about free maintenance. You know, like when you get these vehicles, I don't care if they're new, they're used. Sometimes you get free oil changes, you get this and you get that. Well, let me tell you something. What does the word free mean?
That means it's not itemized on an invoice.
What do people think free
means?
means?
That's the most powerful word in advertising is free.
Free. Oh, I get it for
free. I don't have to pay for it.
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you something. There's nothing free in this world.
Nope. The world works off money. Plain and simple. The world works off the almighty dollar. Nothing's free.
If you think that they're just being nice to you and they're giving you those for free, you're wrong. First of all, now, how do they make their money? It's in the price that you pay for it. It's in the price you pay. You are paying for the free oil changes and the maintenance.
Well, the purpose of that free maintenance is so you take the car back to the dealer. You get used to going to dealer. You like the dealer. You trust the dealer. So when that car is out of warranty, where do you go? When it needs service or maintenance, back to the dealer.
Yeah, and even if it's under warranty, the reason, just exactly what Dave says, you're going back to the dealer. That's the number one goal that the dealers have. That's where they're going to make their money, is in that service department. And it may be, okay, you're under warranty and you just take it in if it's under warranty. Well, under warranty still is paid very well to the dealer from the manufacturer because they're standing behind their product. If it's an extended warranty, you're getting basically they're rolling their dice that something's not going to happen to your vehicle, and you're rolling the dice that something will, and they have a lot less claims in the dollars that they pay out than what they make on profit. And that's how it works. So there is no free, and it's paid for somewhere. And it doesn't mean that it's at a disadvantage to you necessarily, because if you're just going there and getting your oil change done, and then you have stuff that goes on with your car and it's under warranty, it doesn't cost you anything, but you still paid for all that in the price of your vehicle. That's the whole point.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just take Ford Motor Company, for example. The Ford family still runs Ford Motor Company. Bill Ford is a direct descendant of Henry Ford. They know what they're doing. So they know every car comes off the assembly line. On average, they're going to reimburse the dealer this much for warranty work. That's how they base their payments. So they're still making money. They're in business to make money, not get free service away. So you pay for those repairs and that monthly payment, no different than free oil changes, free cabin filter, free air filter. No, it's factored into that payment you make every month.
It is. What else in your what in your area, Dave, do you see that is something that's little
Here's a real deceptive tactic. It's called, a lot of people don't know this. It's called the Right to Repair Act. And what that means is if you buy a new car, right, and you want to change the oil on your own, you legally can. And that does, if you want to change your oil, that won't void the manufacturer's warranty. They still have to honor it. Now you need to demonstrate in the event that there is a problem with the engine that you've maintained it in accordance to manufacturer's recommendations. But as long as you've done that, you don't have to take it there for oil changes. You don't have to take it there for tire rotations. Like I heard about a lady that she had an Audi and she blew a tire, and they told her if she buys a tire from somewhere else that voids her factory warranty. That's violating the Right to Repair Act. That's against the law. They can't do that. So you don't have to have scheduled maintenance done at the dealer when it's under warranty. You just have to be able to prove that you've done it, document it. So in the event that one of the engine, transmission, or whatever has an issue, that you can prove you properly maintain it. But you don't have to use them for maintenance and service while it's under warranty.
Wow. So let me ask you a question, Mr. David Marks. When Billy Bob likes to change his own oil, because he's always changed his own oil and he does it in the back of his garage, you're telling me that that's going to count for his, maintenance? Like,
Yeah, you just got to keep receipts that you bought the oil and filter. You just got to you just got to document what you do, and it doesn't void the warranty. So if you like doing it yourself, you can, because we had a guy, he bought a brand new 21 Silverado and he declined their maintenance because he wants us to service it. So we've actually had clients that have bought a new vehicle and they bring it here for the oil changes, and that does not void the factory warranty.
That's a good point. I knew there had to be something in your arena, deceptive advertising practices.
Yeah, and people don't know. This lady had no idea, and hence she told us that she always took her car back to the dealer after that because she didn't want to void her warranty. She was afraid.
Wow. Very interesting, Dave. Very interesting. Yeah. So just kind of continuing on. So there are financing rebates that are built into the price of the vehicle. So basically, you have to finance in order to get that price.
Right. Or I had a situation where I was going to help a client sell a car, and to get the right financing rate, she had to trade it in. Otherwise, the dealer was going to, stick it to her on the financing because she didn't have a trade in.
Oh, well, explain that story, please.
So she had a Chevy Equinox, who was burning oil, which they're known for, hence the name Equinox, because that's what they do. Oh, they keep guys like me in business. I should send GM thank you cards for making those and give cards. We should be reading GM for some of the stuff they've made over the years, but that's a different story. But I was going to help her sell her car and get her more money than what the dealer was going to give her on her trade, but they wouldn't give her the financing that she wanted to because they wanted that vehicle, and they gave her pennies on the dollar, and they sold it at auction and made money.
So this is really, really interesting. So in your opinion, how can that be avoided?
Yeah, I don't really know, Jay. I mean, this is more in your arena, but I gave the lady, I think I could get you this for it, and that was more than what she was getting on trade, but to get the financing, she had to trade it in.
Wow. So I know exactly how to get around that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So if this happens to you again, well, number one, we don't the mystery here is we don't know the financing rate she was getting.
Yeah, we don't know the numbers. We don't have any of the facts. That's what she just told me in a text message.
Right. So the rates right now, roughly 2.79 up to 60 months, and you could probably get even lower than that, possibly. Now, they're not going to get those 1.9% financings and all that. Those are out the window. Those don't even exist anymore. So here's what I think happened in that situation. I think that they quoted her a rate and it sounded really good. And they basically led her to believe that she could not get that rate unless she traded in her vehicle. And that is not entirely true. And I'm just going to say on a hunch because I know 1.9 and the 0%, those don't exist right now, not in this day and age. So if you can get 2.79 or you get anywhere close to that, you're doing very, very well. And so the difference, so like she probably took, like you said, like $1,000 less or more. And the difference in the interest rate of what they were offering, which she could get, probably was less than a quarter of a point, which wouldn't even equivalent into, maybe $100 difference. Who knows in interest in the in what the interest that she would pay over a 5-year term.
Right.
So they really got her, Dave. The more I keep thinking about this. So if you're in an instance like this,
and this is Jason, we're talking about somebody we both know who's actually educated and is in the financial business. I'm surprised.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm surprised that it happened. Well, they know what they could sell her Equinox for at auction because that's a guarantee. That's where it went. They knew what they could get for it, so that's where they made up the difference.
Yeah, and that really is interesting. So with our buyer's agent program, we avoid that crap. We make sure that we know the best rates going in. We get you prepared. And God, who knows how long she was at the dealer to deal with that crap. Man, I wish she just would have called us and, it's what it is.
It is what it is. So
She wound up actually costing herself more money by trying to do it herself, but people just don't know what they don't know, do they?
Even financially educated people think they can figure it out. No, they don't. I mean, I've been in this buying and selling, repairing for 20 something years. And since we've been doing this, I've learned a lot of things that I thought were reality. No, I had no clue.
Yeah. That's an unfortunate thing to hear. I'm going to share something with you that I'm going to use Lexus as an example again, because Lexus has really seriously does some very deceptive things. I was driving the other day. It was probably a couple weeks ago. They said, "This is the big Lexus sales event." The big Lexus sales event? Where do I sign up?
I want a Lexus.
What does it mean? What do I do? Should I just go there? And let me tell you this. Let me tell you what really happens. Lexus has no vehicles on their lot. The Lexus sales event? Oh, does that mean they're selling Lexuses? Yes, that's all it means. It's, again, so deceptive. I'm here for the Lexus sales event. I would like to look at some cars. Unfortunately, sir, we don't have any cars. You don't, but I'm here for the event. Well, we can order you one. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. Yes, they are selling cars. No, there are no cars on the lot. And the reality is there's only a few cars on each of the dealers' lots. And if they're sought after cars in high demand, you will not be able to get that car for 4 to 7 months, maybe longer. And I think we ended on that.
Yes, sir.
And then if you're and one thing I'm going to do for you right now. If you're listening, we have a special gift for you. How to buy a car without the nonsense. It's the same process that we take our clients through, so you don't end up in those messes. If you just simply take out your text message on your phone and type in the word car, CAR, and text it to 57838, that's text car to 57838. You'll get the free ebook. You can watch these podcasts. You can be more educated. And please let us know in the comments below the things that you have faced dealing with some of these deceptive car practices. We want to end them, don't we, Mr. David Marks?
Yeah.
And to the next week, we will see you next week. Peace.
Bye, everybody.